Hi everyone, I'm Nadia, and in today's video, my mom is making a beautiful set of resin beach coasters. In this video, my mom is using resin by Jade Diction, and it's the 3x UV protection. And you can use my mom's discount code WILDHEART to save 10%. I'll leave links in the description. She mixes her part A and part B resin together for a few minutes, and until there are no more streaks visible in the resin and it becomes completely clear. Once it's mixed well, she separates it into smaller cups. These are going to be a very sparkly set, so she starts off with adding iridescent flakes and gold glitter into one cup. And she adds a small amount of silver glitter into the same cup. In her next cup, she adds iridescent flakes and a mixture of green and blue glitter. And does a similar combination in her third cup. In her last cup, she also adds the iridescent flakes and more of a dark blue glitter. She also added some black glitter to darken the color even more. She mixes everything together and starts to pour into the mold. I'll be quickly going over this part because this is just the base layer, which we will use once it's hardened to create the lacing. And for this part, you can use whichever pigments you prefer. If you don't want to use glitter, I highly recommend using pigment pastes and mica powders. And you can also mix real sand with the resin and pour it into the bottom of the mold for the beach. I have several beach tutorials on my channel, and I'll leave one linked above if you'd like to check it out. She adds her darkest blue at the top of the mold and works her way down, going lighter and lighter. And she uses a torch gun to pop any air bubbles. And here she is the next day demolding. And once you've demolded your piece, you'll want to pay attention to how firm it seems. If it's still bendy, then you might want to give it another day to harden. This is important because we're going to be propping the coasters onto cups. And if it hasn't hardened enough, then the cups will deform the coasters and cause them not to be leveled. To prepare the coasters for a coat out of the mold, my mom is adding liquid latex. She pours some around the edges and uses a silicone makeup brush to spread it to the very edge. This is to protect the bottom of the piece so that when you're pushing the waves out with your heat gun and resin flows over the coasters, it won't cure onto the bottom of the coasters. And a tip with liquid latex is that you don't have to wait until it's completely dry to flip your coasters over onto cups, but you can wait until it's just dry enough not to budge. And that can typically be around 30 to 45 minutes. After the coasters are propped onto cups, my mom mixes her part A and part B resin once more. My mom adds her resin onto the blue area of the coasters and leaves the sand area empty. It'll allow for less movement in your resin when you blow out your wave, which is an important part in getting your lacing to stay and not to pull back towards you. After covering all of the blue area of the coasters with resin, She waits for the resin to slightly thicken and then comes back to do the waves. So she's added the resin onto her coasters and used a torch gun to pop any air bubbles. For the white pigment, my mom is using just Resin's pigment paste in the shade Titanium White. We've achieved the best results with this pigment paste. Again, I'll leave links below and you can use my code SUMMERGIRL to save 10%. I would highly recommend using this one for lacing. And she uses a heat gun on low setting to blow out the white pigmented resin. She's slightly tilting the coaster while she's using the heat gun to make sure that the resin flows over the edge of the coaster, and this is a tip to ensure that the resin doesn't come back towards you and erase some of the lacing. And she does the same thing for the second coaster. She allows that to harden, and before the coaster is complete, especially because she left the sand area blank so it's not leveled, she adds a protective top coat. I have a few videos on my YouTube channel showing that whole process if you're interested, but here she is removing the liquid latex. And here's the final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Follow me on my Instagram, SummerGirlDesigns, and my mom's Instagram, WildHeartResinArt.